Hi everyone. I am on my way to work, but I just want to do a quick video for you guys about everybody stay in your lane. I'm driving, and yeah, this video was about, stay in your lane. If you're a nurse, stay in your lane. Don't try to be a doctor and diagnose. If you're a CNA, stay in your lane. Don't try to be a doctor, diagnose, and try to be a nurse, because you're not. And CNAs, patient care techs, whatever it is that, aides, whatever you're called. If you are in nursing school, understand that you are not a nurse yet. You are still a nursing assistant. You are there to assist the nurse, not to be the nurse. And I don't know if you guys are noticing this with your interns or whoever is the nurse intern there. Well, nurse interns are still CNAs where I work at. But I noticed that people who are going to nursing school, and no shade, seriously, but it's a problem, because I'm sure I'm not the only person noticing this. People who are in nursing school, I know they're happy, and I'm happy for them, but we can't, let that affect our work, because what they are doing is trying to be a nurse while they're in aid. And what I mean by that is they're neglecting their duties as a nursing assistant, trying to do the nurse's job. And it's frustrating the nurses, and it's frustrating your fellow CNAs, because when you're supposed to be doing your job, you're not. And it's frustrating. I'm going to give you an example of that, because this happened to me, and thank God for working on me, because I would have came out of my face and said something, but I just went on and did it anyway, because I wasn't doing nothing. But it was craziness. Okay, so something happened to the patient where they started to have heart problems. And when they start complaining about having chest issues, like their chest hurt or something like that, the first thing we do, of course, is get the vital signs, and then we'll go get the EKG machine. Okay, so when that happens, another nurse will call in another nurse, or the nurse supervisor or whatever, and they would, tackle that situation together. Now, the aide that was on that night, assigned to that hallway, was supposed to be, for lack of better words, the gopher. They were supposed to be the one getting the vital signs, checking the sugar if, the nurse wanted them, and going to get whatever equipment is needed. But what did that aide do? What did she do? She thought she was the nurse. And what did she do? She started to try to order, the other CNAs around to get things and do things for her, while she stand there at the foot of the bed staring at the patient. The girl is not authorized. It's beyond her scope of practice. She can't do nothing. So why are you in the room? First of all, there's 2 nurses already in the room. If anything needs to be done, they can take care of it, right? So what she did was, can you go get the EKG machine? I have a patient who's having a heart problem. All right. I thought she was changing the person, doing something serious, but she wasn't, because when I got the machine and I went in there, she was standing by the foot of the bed staring in the face of the patient. I was going to say something to her, but I didn't. But then that goes to show that our priorities, the priorities of some nursing students or people, aides who are aspiring to be a nurse, their priorities are not where they need to be. Because she doesn't, this is not the first time, she does this all the time. And the next time she does it, it's going to be me and her. Not in a bad way, but sometimes people just have to be told, you know what, you're not really needed on that level. You just need to go do what it is that the nurse has asked you to do, and stop putting your work off on other people, because you're not a nurse. You know, you don't, even though you may know what to do because you read it in a book, you are not authorized to practice on that level because you don't have a license. So if you're a nursing student, you know, get your head, it's out of the clouds, because it's going to affect your work and your relationship with your co-workers. It's awesome that you're aspiring to go higher in the nursing field, if that's your desire, and it's awesome. All of that is awesome, but don't neglect your position. Stay on your post, because that says a lot about you and your character. Stay in your lane. And there is another CNA who, she is going to nursing school soon. She's not in it yet, but she thinks she's a doctor. She diagnoses patients. And, you know, I don't say nothing because I don't want to get people in trouble. You know, I kind of act like maybe this is wrong. Maybe I should say something. But she's starting to get on a lot of people's nerves, and she's going to get into trouble. So, you know, I do consider her, you know, a good acquaintance. So maybe I should really say something. What y'all think? But I never really, I heard it one time, but it wasn't nothing big. You know, it wasn't nothing big. But I've heard other people say that she actually diagnoses with big, you know, serious diagnosis, that doctors should be doing it. You know, it's one thing to say, oh, you just have a little cold, but it's another thing to say, oh, you have cancer. That seems like cancer to me. You know, I never heard her say that, but someone told me that she did. So I can't really say nothing. I won't say anything because I never heard it on that level. But if a nurse is hearing that, or another aide, maybe they should report it, because that's dangerous. You know, we don't have the authority to do that. So I just want to say, you know, we should all stay in our lane, do our jobs, do what we're supposed to be doing, stop pushing off our jobs on other people. You know, if you're in nursing school, stay in your lane. Don't try to be a nurse under the, you know, operating as a CNA, but you're trying to be a nurse at the same time. Stop having that mentality that you're better than other people, because everybody don't want to be a nurse. Everybody doesn't want to be. Just because a person is a CNA or patient care tech doesn't mean that they have no aspirations. It doesn't mean that they're lower on the totem pole. It doesn't mean that they're nothing. Maybe this is what they're content with. Maybe this is just, you know, something that they want to do for the moment. We don't know people's reasons for doing things. Everybody does not want that level of responsibility, and that is a great level of responsibility. You have to be mentally prepared to take on something like that, and you have to have, it has to be in your heart to do it. You know, if it's for money, I'm telling you, I see it all the time, it's not going to last. People are frustrated. People hate their jobs. You know, those are the people who are frustrated, hate their jobs. Those are the people who are crying, you know, every 5 minutes, or crying before their shift. The people cry before their shift, okay? Or they cry after their shift, and we have to console these nurses. I mean, you have to be mentally prepared to do that job, and everybody does not want that level of responsibility. Everyone doesn't want to become a nurse. So if you're a nurse, stop looking at your CNAs as if they're nothing, because they could be more than you. You just don't know it. Everybody doesn't want to become a nurse. For other people, it's not the next step up. Because, you know, in life, we have this pride of life thing. You know, we have to, it depends on what your mindset is. Some people just want to become a, you know, whatever it is that they want to become for the wrong reasons, because they want to step up in the eyes of other people. But everybody's not like that. So what if a person doesn't want to go to school and further their education? It doesn't mean that they're not educated. You don't know what people's background is. That's why we have to be careful how we treat each other and how we view each other, because how we treat each other, well, how we view each other is how we're going to treat each other. If you see that doctors and, you know, your co-workers are treating you a certain way, that is because that is how they view you in their mind. If they view you as nothing, they're going to treat you like you're nothing. If you view other people as nothing, you're going to treat people just like your patients. How you view your patients is how you're going to treat them. That's why I tell you guys in report, don't let these your co-workers beat down patients in your ear as you're getting a report, because subconsciously you're going to start treating them a certain way. And you may not realize it, but pay close attention to yourself. You're going to start seeing that you're going to be treating them different, more harsh than other people. You're not going to be as nice to them as you would someone else who you didn't get that type of report from. So people, with that, stay in your lane. Whatever it is that you're doing, stay in your lane. Oh, that's a nice car. Looks like one of those 1930 cars. Stay in your lane. Stop trying to be something that you're not yet. And do your job. Stop trying to do other people's job. Do your job. And don't get sucked into that, because when you see yourself starting to go over into that frame of mind, you need to bring it on in. All right, guys, that was my rant. I mean, you see a lot of stuff working with people, and so that you won't be coming out of your face and yelling at people. And I just want you to know that they're out there. Situations like this is out there, and then you, when it start happening to you, and you're the person on the other end, don't take it personal. Don't start talking about people, going to other co-workers and start talking about them. Don't do that, because maybe they just don't know what they're doing. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they need you to tell them in a loving way. Listen, I know you're in school, or I know you're getting ready to take your test or whatever, but you're still a CNA, and you need to concentrate on what you are here to do. Until you get your license, then you'll be able to practice and do the nursing thing. But right now, you're not, and you can't be trying to tell other nurses what they need to be doing and what they should do, because they do that. These nursing students have the audacity to tell these nurses what they should and what they shouldn't be doing. I mean, the pride. And it's really messed up, because we shouldn't do that to each other. And it's craziness. So we have to get over ourselves. We really do. If you're in nursing school and you're a CNA or nurse, patient care tech, stop telling these nurses what they need to do and what they should be doing. Oh, you may want to call the doctor. They know they need to call the doctor. They don't need you to tell them that. You may want to call the doctor on this. Who are you? We got to stop doing that. Okay, you're in nursing school, fine. That's awesome. But you're speaking outside of your authority. Now, if it's a new nurse, or if the nurse, and this is genuinely your heart, just say, are you going to call the doctor? This is something that you need to call it. It's a way you do something. It's a way you do things, but don't do it as you're telling them that they need to do something. Because sometimes, I've seen it. There's sometimes CNAs have saved the behinds of nurses that should have done something, or wasn't going to do something that they should have done. And in a humble way, just like the servants of Naaman. I don't know if y'all read Bible, but the Naaman was a king, and the prophet told Naaman to go wash in the Jordan River 7 times. And Naaman was like, I'm a king, I have riches and glory. Why am I going to go in this dirty Jordan River and wash 7 times? And his servants came and said, my Lord, this is a prophet, he knows what he's talking about. Maybe you should. They came to him humbly, because they know this is something that he needs to be doing, but he's not doing it. They didn't come, you better call the doctor. I think you need to go call the doctor. We can't be, it is a way. It's a way that we suggest stuff, especially if we see that they're not going that route. And we've been doing this for a long time, and we've seen this scenario before. And the doctor needs to be called, you need to call a rapid on this one. This person is getting ready to tongue out, call a rapid. Sometimes new nurses, they miss that. And because we've seen this situation before, we know, call a rapid, call a rapid. There's a way to suggest stuff. Even people who don't go to nursing school, it's a way that we suggest stuff. We're there to help the nurse. And if we see them getting ready to fall, and if we see them getting ready to do something that's life-threatening for the patient, we are to speak up and we are to say something. But I'm talking about people who's trying to do the nurse's job for the patient on their shift instead of doing their own job. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not really talking about making suggestions, because sometimes we have to, but in making suggestions, there is still a way that we are to make that suggestion, not with a whole bunch of pride trying to order them around or anything like that, because if we were in their position, we wouldn't want people doing that to us. Okay, I'm finished with my rant. I said I was finished with my rant 5 minutes ago, but you guys have an awesome day, and talk to you guys. Bye.